We all love the sound of money, and a $1,500 sign-on bonus sounds even better. That's right, Belicio Foods of Jackson is offering a $1,500 sign-on bonus to new employees. Receive an extra $100 your first 6 weeks, then $400 after day 90, and $500 after day 180. Don't wait. Apply online at beliciofoods.com/careers today. That's beliciofoods.com/careers. Come work for a company who truly values their employees. Come work for Belicio Foods.
Show some love for the graduating seniors in your life with custom-made gear from Zip Printing in Jackson. Yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, and more. Zip Printing can do it all. Visit yourtotalmedia.shop to browse all of Zip's gear to show your school spirit for the class of 22. Zip also has everything you need for graduation parties like custom photo cards, invitations, and napkins. Call 740-286-3023 or find them on Facebook at Zip Printing Signs and Marketing.
All right, so introduce yourselves again. We'll start over.
My name is Laura Thorne, and I have Ellie as a therapy dog.
And my name is Debbie Willis, and I have Jazz laying here beside me, and I have a German Shepherd Regent at home, and they're both therapy dogs.
That's right. And you guys are here representing the Therapy Dogs International.
Yes.
And we started talking about that, but I'm not sure how much y'all heard or not. So we'll just start that over again also. So talk for a minute about Therapy Dogs International. And you guys said that it was actually the oldest therapy dog organization. That's really cool.
That in 1976, and they actually coined the word therapy dog.
Oh,
Really?
there
In
was
76? Wow.
that's
And now
impressive.
it's gone crazy. There's therapy dogs,
Yeah.
all kinds of different organizations, therapy dogs everywhere, So,
Yeah.
but it's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Yes.
It is. We also wanted to talk today a little bit about the difference between a therapy dog, a service dog,
That was going to be my, one of my
and
certainly
the
questions.
quote unquote emotional support animal, which Debbie and I are like, we don't agree with that.
Okay, and yeah, I would like to talk about that, and I would also like to talk about the legalities of that.
Of course.
Because it's very, very confusing to everybody.
It is.
Especially in and we'll get to that, but I was just thinking about, the restaurant, for example, or anybody that owns a business or whatever, people come in and they've got this dog and they bought a vest on eBay or, Amazon or whatever, and they slap it on there and they throw it in the booth, and you're like, I have no idea whether I don't have a clue whether or not. I mean, if it were me, dogs would be everywhere.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
So I am certainly one to err on the side of letting them be there.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right, Jennifer. There
But,
is
yeah.
a lot of confusion about that topic.
Yes.
And you can certainly get some good information online
Okay.
about the differences. But basically, therapy dogs and emotional support dogs have no legal rights to be in a business.
Okay, so
Therapy dogs, which is Ellie, and an emotional support animal have no legal rights.
Right.
Absolutely.
A therapy dog can go where it's invited. So, but we
To a
can't just
hospital
go where
or
we want to
a
go.
school. Service dogs have multiple training. They have long training. They have a skill that they use for their owner. They have a skill specifically for their owner.
So, you think of service dogs as, I know many veterans have service dogs.
Yes, PTSD is a big deal.
PTSD for sure.
Yes.
Seeing eye dogs.
Seeing eye dogs.
Pilot dogs.
Diabetes. We have diabetes alert dogs.
Seizure, epilepsy.
Seizure, epilepsy.
Those are all legit.
legit. Children with autism who have a tendency to bolt can get a service dog to tether them, I guess.
Yes,
Do they tether
and
them?
they're trained to track too. If
They're
the
trained to
child-
track the child.
Yes.
They're also trained to, if the child has a blow up or a tantrum, they're also trained to calm it down. So those are all legit.
So, and it's not to say that any dog isn't a legitimate animal or dog. It's
Right.
just,
They
we're
can
talking
get
about the
more
legalities
We're
of
talking
this
about the
for a
skill
minute.
level and the certification and the licensing, I guess. Is it a
Yeah,
licensing?
it's it's a law that you have to let them in.
Yes.
Sure.
To a
Yeah.
anywhere. Their owner could have a life-threatening
Yeah.
episode, and if you didn't let them in,
So, and here's the deal too, as I, looked back and of course, I always was one that, if you are training a service dog, bring them into
Yes.
our establishment because, number one, it's a perfect, it's pretty crazy.
Yes, lots of
if,
noise,
if
lots
you're
of
in
chaos.
a restaurant environment or a bar environment or whatever, that's a good training tool. But, is there like paperwork that you would carry or something of that nature? Number one. Number two, it's okay if it's a service dog, you need to ask why. It's okay to ask why the service dog is there because if something would happen, then
Yes.
you would,
right.
you need to know.
You're allowed to ask what the dog is trained to do.
Yes.
Yeah, like
But
so
you can't
for
ask what's wrong with the person.
right.
Yeah.
What skill does that dog have for you?
So if you have a child coming in that has epilepsy and you know something starts to go awry, if you have to call or you have to do whatever, you understand
Yes.
what the problem is quickly.
Yes.
So that's okay. That's all right to ask.
Now, therapy dogs don't have a specific skill set.
Okay.
I mean, they are basically, we just go in for comfort and for relaxation, and they're just there to be
Make people
petted,
happy.
to make people happy.
Well, how would you not
We
make
make
people
smiles.
happy?
So
You
they
are so
don't have the
pretty.
skill set that a service dog has. I mean, a service
Right.
dog is highly trained.
Oh my gosh.
Highly trained.
What are some of the, and we'll get back to therapy dogs because that's, obviously why you're here, but service dogs, I mean, they do all kind of crazy
They
stuff.
do amazing work. Amazing work.
And the police dogs also are service dogs,
Yeah.
which is kind of a different.
I
Correct.
saw a pic. My Ellie was born and bred to be a service dog. She didn't make the program, so I was allowed to adopt her.
Okay.
And she comes from a
What was your problem?
she doesn't like loud noises.
I see.
So
I don't either.
Yeah. So she comes from a group called Four Paws for Ability out of Xenia, Ohio.
Okay.
And I'm on their Facebook page, and there was a picture of a kid, an autistic child. He was in the dentist chair, and they had him all the way laid back, and his service dog was laying on his chest.
Oh,
And
I
the
need that
mom
too.
said,
I know. Can I have one of those?
I got tears.
Aw.
The mom said this is the first time he's ever been able to go to the dentist without
Oh,
melting down. And the dog, he was holding the dog's paw, and the dog was physically laying on his chest. And he talks about his dog to the dentist. And it was the sweetest. And they said, this is why these dogs exist. This is what our organization is about, helping children, veterans, people with their disabilities so they can function in society. She said, this is the first time it's ever happened.
And just think about the emotional wear and tear on everybody. That poor child, first time going to a dentist that he
Yeah.
didn't have to have a meltdown.
Yes.
I feel like, yeah, you're right. I kind of feel the same way.
I can use one myself.
But,
Maybe we should think about that next time.
yeah, bring our dogs.
Can
please.
I use your dog in the next time? Yeah.
But no, and just that's so sad that a child has to go through that.
Yeah.
And if that dog being there can make that big of a difference,
Isn't
then
that a miracle?
it is a
It's
miracle.
There was
Absolutely.
another story from Four Paws about, I can't remember if the child had epilepsy or diabetes. The mom had not slept a night through since the child was born.
Well, of course, because
then they got I don't know, it was a seizure alert or a diabetic alert dog. And she said, I finally feel like I can sleep because I know the dog will wake me up if I need. It's a miracle what they do.
Dogs are a gift.
they are. We don't deserve them.
Yeah,
I think that's like the best line I've ever heard. It's so
Yeah.
true.
We don't
do not
deserve-
deserve
you're right.
them.
You're right. Yeah.
We don't. All right, so back to therapy dogs.
Yes.
Because that is why you're here today. Therapy Dog International. You guys there actually is a Jackson kind of branch of that, or is it countywide or
It's
a local?
It's local because we have some people from out of town that will come and join us too.
Okay.
So when we just went down to Rio Grande to there, they had the Out of the Darkness suicide prevention
Yes.
awareness, and we took the dogs. We had 7 dogs, I believe, there.
Yep.
So
Wow.
that was our chapter.
Yeah.
Very good.
2 of them were therapy dogs in training.
Yes. Yeah.
So how do you, so if somebody wants to join you, you don't have to, I assume don't have to have a dog. Like you could just be part of the group,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I
Like,
never thought of that.
Well, actually, you do have to have a dog
okay.
to belong to Therapy Dogs International, unless your dog passes away. And,
Okay.
and then you've already been through having a dog, and you can stay as a member.
Okay.
So, but we're always looking for new members. It's a very big demand, and sometimes we have trouble having
Finding
enough
dogs to go.
people to go where we're
Yeah.
asked to go. So,
Oh, wow.
always looking for.
Because it is a need. And, you think about, God forbid, all of the just craziness going on in the world. And, COVID has been horrible. And, unfortunately, these school shootings and
right.
these therapy dogs, they go to schools and they go to places and they're comfort for everybody.
Yeah.
I know we have the Wellston police or the Wellston dog
Yes.
on not too long ago and taking pictures and they were showing pictures of just like being in the school and how much comfort that is to.
It is.
We went to Holzer Hospital and got police just for the staff.
Do you really have to hold her hand the whole time?
Yeah.
I wish you guys could see this. It's so cute.
It's a thing.
Can we just hold hands constantly?
Yeah.
One of the places we go to is Holzer,
Yes.
and there are 3 of us that are, because you have to go through like as a volunteer at Holzer, so you have to do all the training for a volunteer.
Oh,
and then
okay.
take it off. So there are 3 of us here in Jackson that go, and Laura and I went not too long ago.
Yeah. And Debbie and I also went through hospice training too. So we can do, if the hospice patient requests a dog visit, we can do that.
Jazz has a lot of hospice patients he's seen. He's a good hospice therapy dog.
He is. He's an extraordinarily gifted therapy dog. He just knows. We went to visit the hospital staff, and there was a young man there, and I don't even know what was happening with him. He was not in great physical shape, but his mom was there, and his mom kept urging us to go into his room, and the nurses were doing something, and Jazz kept going to the mom. And she kept urging, no, go over and see my son. But Jazz kept coming back to the mom. And Debbie said later, she said Jazz knew the mom needed him.
The mom needed help.
And she was just all over him. She loved him, was patting him, hugging him and stuff. But she kept saying, no, go back and see my son. And Jazz would go over, but then he would drift back over to the mom. And
Like, mom needs a hug too.
Mom needed me as much as the son.
I have seen him do that so many times that it's just like miraculous that he can. It's scent. A lot of it is they smell that
the need.
The need.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Again, they're so much wiser than we are.
Oh, yeah. We probably don't know half what they know about us.
Right. I mean, it's scary. You give them voices, we'd be in trouble. It's kind of like I talk about hunting. If you give the deer guns, it'd be all over. But anyway, they're so much smarter than we are.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you get started?
Okay. You don't actually have to do the Canine Good Citizen, but it's a good start.
And that's just
test.
basic obedience.
Yeah.
Sit, stay. You can do it. You have to sit and stay, and then you walk away, and they have to remain in position and ignoring food, ignoring other dogs.
Well, that's impossible.
Well, I have a dog at home, and that's what he flung.
Especially if they're labs. Like,
no.
no.
He's pure lab, pure food driven.
It's all about food with labs.
It's all about food. So.
But the therapy dog test, and I'm an evaluator. So obviously I can't evaluate my own dog, so they were evaluated somewhere else. But first is basic obedience, that they walk on a leash without, we don't want to see somebody going down the hallway and the dog's running behind them. They're pulling you down the hallway. Yeah. So they have to walk nicely on the leash. They don't have to be in perfect heel position like you would do for a dog show or something. Yeah. But just walk nice. They have to sit. They have to stay, like Laura was talking about. They have to lay down. Come. Definitely, that's a really important one. Yeah. Do a recall. Then they have to be offered food, and you can tell them leave it, but they can't.
Yeah,
take
good
it.
luck with that
Yeah.
one.
They
A hot dog. Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you. You're my
All
best
my
friend.
training just went out the
Yeah,
window.
yeah.
And then they have to walk past food too, and a water bowl. The water bowl is because at 9/11, the therapy dogs were at ground zero, and they weren't well trained enough at that time, and they drank the
Contaminated water.
Oh no.
So
Yeah.
they were not allowed to be at ground zero anymore.
I
So that's
see.
part of
Just to
the
protect
test.
them.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's part of the test now that they have to leave. the
Makes
walker
total
too.
sense.
Right.
But see, again, that's like us evolving, because who would have ever thought about that before? Like, really?
And that's kind of tough for some dogs. I mean, they see a bowl of water and they want to drink.
Well, we
obviously.
had a Saint
Absolutely.
Bernard.
Oh,
at
yes.
one of the tests,
I remember
and
him.
he drank the water.
Yeah.
He was thirsty.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
And it was hot. And
I
he
need
was
a drink.
He was a big boy too. Yeah.
But then then after they pass that part, they have to want to visit. We'll have someone in a wheelchair or
We have a
walking
walker,
um,
crutches.
and the dog has to. And there have been dogs that were afraid of the walker, or the
Oh.
wheelchair.
we had a gurney, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a gurney.
Had a gurney.
And you have a sweeper maybe.
Oh,
A
yeah.
vacuum sweeper.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because when you go in a facility, somebody may be vacuuming, some type of
Right, and you-
equipment that makes noise.
Listen, I was talking with a friend about that the other day. I'm like, the vacuum cleaner to dogs it's so funny, because they either attack it or they run from it, or
Yeah, right.
I mean, obviously some don't care one way or the
You
other.
have to sweep
but
around him.
Yeah.
He won't
I
even
have to
move.
tell my Cooper at home, will you move? Because I
Yeah.
need to sweep
He's
right
the
there.
same way.
but yeah, I mean, a lot of dogs go
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's something that
And
was
I get
part of
it.
the test, so.
hair dryers, same,
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
nerve wracking
Right.
for them.
So
Weird
we-
noises.
They say a therapy dog is born; they're not made. So that
Okay,
has to
I was
be-
going to ask you
yeah.
about
It's
that.
a personality issue. I mean, I have a dog at home, and he would be a perfect therapy dog because he just wants you to pet him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Can't pass the hot dog test.
Uh huh.
So
If it weren't,
if it
that's
wasn't for that-
darn lab coming out. in me.
yeah. Other than that, I mean, he would be a perfect therapy dog. I mean, he loves everybody. Everybody loves him. He has a good personality. Now, I've had other dogs that did not have that personality.
Sure.
They were a one-person dog, and they didn't want to be petted by anyone else. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people want a therapy dog, and maybe they want to try to make a dog like that a therapy dog. It's not fair to the dog
To
It's-
force
it's-
them to do
right,
that.
It's not made to
Well,
be.
it's
So.
like trying to take a human and make them do something that they're not
Yeah.
skilled to do.
Right.
You know, it's like
Right.
Exactly.
you are an artist, but we want you to be an auto mechanic. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like no, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah. And it's kind of strange when I see a lot of people will get a dog and say, I want to make him into, this is going to be my service dog. I'm going to train him to be a service dog. And it has to be professionally done. In my opinion, it has to be professionally
Oh,
done.
absolutely.
I don't think the regular person has the skill set to train a dog to be a service dog.
Right. And the therapy dogs, they'll do that too. They'll say, "Here's this little puppy. I'm going to make it a therapy dog." You usually
You
don't
don't know.
that, right? You don't know
Yeah.
until they get a little older if they're going to have the personality. And,
Even as you were saying, like Ellie was bred to be,
She
her
was bred.
family, her lineage is to be a service dog.
Mhm.
However, sometimes
It doesn't work out.
who was it that was here the other day? Oh, Louie from the library. Louie from the library has a squirrel issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he flunked out because
He's
of
from
his.
the same facility.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he flunked out though because of his squirrel issue,
Yes.
and
And it benefits the rest of us, though.
correct, because we all have a Louie now at the library. So you know,
Well, he's retired.
well, he's kind of
Yeah.
retired, but
He's
he'll be
retired.
back at the
But
library.
he is
so.
going to schools. She actually,
Yes.
I think she already took him to a preschool class at Westview. So he'll be working as a therapy dog more
Yes.
out in the public now.
Yes. So
So-
Louis, but yeah, so we all have our own little quirks and,
yes,
and weird
exactly.
things. So,
Exactly.
so yeah, and you're exactly right. So then you don't know, you get this puppy and you have the highest hopes for it, and then
Yeah.
it doesn't. Want
Maybe it
anyone to
works,
pet
maybe it doesn't.
Right. Now, there's also another part of Therapy Dogs International that is called tail wagging tutors, and that is
okay,
and Laura and I have done that.
Yep.
And the children bring a book, and we did that at Westview, Northview. We did it at Northview,
Yeah, Northview.
and we really enjoyed it, and the kids and the dogs did too. But they'll bring a book and they read one-on-one, just the child, the dog, and we sit there with the dog, and they read to the dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've also done it at the library.
so good.
Yeah, we do that.
We did it at the library, and we had like on Saturdays from 11 to 1, the dog will be there available to read if you want to drop in and read to your dog. And it's the dogs, I mean, they're just laying there getting petted.
Yeah, like, they're like, this is the best day ever.
Yeah, Jazz will go to sleep, and I've had a little child say, "Is he sleeping?" And I always just say, "No, he's resting." He didn't go to sleep on you.
You put him right to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to do that again.
Yes,
It's kind of difficult because there's so many places we want to go, but just time and
Sure.
and opportunities don't always mesh. So
As you said, there's, the demand is way higher than,
Yeah.
your supply of time. And
I think you guys went to Hope Haven, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sharon and I went to Hope Haven not too long ago.
Okay.
And that was very, very nice visit. Very rewarding. The kids liked the dogs a lot. So.
Who doesn't like love to pet a dog? And I mean, I was laughing the other day because we have, by the way, Fun Club at Sixth Sense Brewing every Saturday at 11 a.m.
Yep.
So you can bring your doggies and walk if you want, or just bring yourself or whatever. But I had Marley there with me Saturday. And I swear every person that walked in the door said, "Hi, Marley."
That's great.
And I'm like, what the heck? And then they'd be like, "Oh, hey, Jen."
Yeah. It happens to me all
That-
the
that happens
time.
to me
It's
too.
so ridiculous. We were at a brewery in Columbus one time, and Jamie and I got to laughing because the people sitting beside us said, "Isn't that dog from Sixth Sense?"
No.
Yes.
Were you a
Because she has
were you
her
a brew
own-
dog?
No, we were in Grandview.
Oh, okay.
I think. And I did have someone.
Seriously?
Yes. And she has her own Instagram page. And so I'm like laughing because I'm like, they don't know us, but they know the
my
dog.
That's awesome. That's great.
But it's the same. So, people love dogs and they pay
They do.
attention
They do.
and, they're so helpful.
Every once in a while, I'll come across a kid who doesn't like dogs.
Occasionally.
Or maybe they've had a bad experience.
It's very, very possible. And I always say, would you like to touch her ears? Because her ears are very soft. And sometimes they will, but usually it's kind of like...
One time I was at one of the nursing homes, and as before Jazz, I had an Afghan hound,
Uh-huh.
and he had that long, beautiful, pretty hair, and
A Barbie dog.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we went up to a room, and we said, would you like to see the dog? And he was like, no. And then he looked out, and he's like, bring that dog in here. He'd never seen a dog. There's not very
Not
many
a lot of
Afghans.
Afghan hounds around here. Yes.
yours is the only one I've ever seen around here.
Like in real life.
Yeah, in real life.
Other than your Barbie dog.
Yeah.
He was my first therapy dog. So Jazz is the second, and then Regent at home, he's the third one. So
and you have one in training.
yeah, I have one that hopefully at some point she'll be able to be a therapy dog.
Yeah.
She's a golden retriever, and she's a little excitable. So.
Listen, understood. That's a good thing. Hey, they're supposed to retrieve things. That's what they're
well.
Yeah. Oh, she does that well.
She's got that skill down.
We got that all under control. All right. So how does one begin to get involved with your organization?
If
Do you
you-
have to have a puppy? Is it like, oh, okay, I have this dog.
To be a member.
No, it doesn't have to be a puppy. No, if
Okay.
any age dog. Is,
Okay.
and
Can you teach an old dog new
you
tricks?
can.
My
Yes, you
Cooper, I got him from a shelter two and a half years ago, and if he can pass that hot dog test, he's going to be a therapy dog. So, and we have
It's all
no
about the hot
idea.
dogs.
We have no idea how he was raised, what he knew. He knew nothing when he came to us. So
Sure.
he has learned sit and down and stay and all those things.
Yeah,
So
they
you
don't have
can
to be a
teach
puppy.
them.
Debbie does a great obedience class,
Okay.
which is coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, in May.
There's one in May, and she does a great obedience because if your dog jumps on you, she can cure that in about 5 seconds.
Sometimes.
She has a great. So we went through basic obedience, and then from there we took the therapy dog test. But you don't have to go through basic obedience.
You don't. You can train your dog yourself. I
So
train
how do you know
Jazz.
how to do that though?
There's a ton of videos.
Oh yeah, there's online.
There's a
YouTube.
ton.
You don't have to be like a dog psychologist,
No,
have
not
a
for
PhD
dogs.
or anything
No.
like that.
I'm not a dog psychologist, and I taught.
I mean, this girl holds her dog's hand the whole time.
She might be a dog psychologist.
Yeah,
She's got all
that's
her-
true. I'm a dog therapist. I trained my dog.
I'm like, can I hold your hand and find out what the heck is going on there?
Yeah, it's just a love connection. She's a special girl. She's a real special girl. I just watched I always loved Cesar Millan.
Yeah,
I
like
think what
Cesar
he
too.
does is amazing, and I know his show is edited, and it's not.
But
all,
he commands, like, he just has a way of
He-
commanding
he's-
their attention and respect just like that.
I think a lot of people want to be their dog's friend more than their
Yeah.
boss, and they respect a boss. They want you to be the boss.
Somebody has to lead the
'Cause
pack,
if-
right?
Somebody
exactly.
has to lead the
If
pack.
you don't, they will.
Yeah,
and that doesn't end well if they're leading.
No, it does not. And I
Yeah.
was talking with Gina one day about that, the dog diva Gina, and
Yes.
I said, "Oh well, I think this dog that I have, leads the pack." She said, "Oh, she better not."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, you're right. Like, I guess that's not how it should be."
Now, there's a guy on YouTube. His name is Zach George, and he does a lot of basic skills and he shows you how to do it. Now, Caesar's kind of like mind control,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's just like, I don't even know what
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah.
Caesar Milan does
He's
not.
like a Jedi
he
master.
he doesn't do like basics, how to teach you how to make them sit and lay down. He doesn't do that. But that Zach George, I've watched a lot of his videos, and he's a really good dog trainer to do basic obedience with.
Because there's some dogs, like, I know, like, when Jamie and I found her down at Royal Oak. Somebody dropped her off, Greta, and we had her for 17 years.
Oh, wow.
But she was a big old
Who knows?
BS. There's probably some Rottweiler or something. She was black and tan, but other than that,
Who knows?
who knows? But anyway, I mean, that dog, and she was so easy because she was our first dog and we had a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I could literally just be like, okay, I'm going to teach you to sit. It's this. And she'd be like, okay. And then that was it. And she was so simple. It was so simple. Like, I
Yeah.
had her trained to do you'd
Well,
shoot her and she fell over.
You
like,
got gold on that first one.
so
there.
lucky. I mean, super lucky. And then you get another dog, and you're like, why is it listening to me? I just told her to do it, and she just did it. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Sometimes
So they're
the
all different.
breed, right? And some breeds are harder than others. So it doesn't mean they can't learn. It just takes more
Patience and time.
I've
dogs
talked-
that are independent workers. So like dogs that hunt, they're trained their basic stuff, but they hunt on their own. So they might be a little harder to obedience train
What about herders?
and herder, but like now border collie is
Oh,
one of the
they're smart.
smartest dogs.
yes.
It's the number one smartest.
But
dog.
you got to keep them busy.
But
Yeah, they need like
Yeah.
constant
Yeah.
stimulation.
So, but yeah, certain
Yeah,
dogs
like beagles are rough because they follow their nose
Exactly.
everywhere. Their entire world follows their
Exactly.
nose.
So
Like,
they are. That's a good example.
Yeah,
A
they're
beagle is
tough.
harder to. And I have a dog 4-H club, and we have a beagle in there. And we love her, and she follows that nose.
Just wherever they get, wherever that scent
And
is.
they don't hear anything once they get a scent.
Yeah.
They're just
So that one would be harder, but it's not impossible.
Mhm.
So
And recall's hard for them because they're out
Sure.
following their nose somewhere.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. But yeah, I sometimes I feel like dogs make us feel like we're really smart and it's just them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look what I made her do.
I know.
Yeah.
Look what I got her to do.
No, I remember with Greta, I told Jamie, I said, he went to work one day and I said, by the time you get home, I'm going to shoot her and she's going to fall over. And he was like, you cannot teach that dog that. And it was literally 5 minutes.
Oh.
And so when we got home, he
Wow.
was like, how did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just told her what I wanted her to do and she did it.
That's awesome.
She got it.
That's a great dog.
Yeah,
That's a
But
great
yeah,
dog.
but yeah, I hate it. She's not with us anymore. But so how does one, I know I keep asking you this, how does one get started then? How do they
Okay,
get a
so-
hold of you? Like
okay.
what do they do
Yeah.
to start?
You can contact Therapy Dogs International or get on the web page, and there are drop down menus, and there's all kinds of stuff. It tells you, shows you a test, tells you what you have to do for the test.
Oh, okay.
And then there are when there are tests. Every state in the United States, it has listed if there's a test that's going to be held. So you can, if you think you're ready, to take the test, and you can look on there to see if your dog is ready. You know, look and watch the video and read what it says that they have to do. Which we already kind of explained. But.
Yeah, and if they're not, like, say they come to you as an evaluator, you guys, and you say, I'm just not.
Right, okay. And we'll tell them, okay, your dog has potential maybe, you know. So go home and work on this.
Or just...
Yeah, I'm sorry, but your dog...
Take him home and love him.
Yeah, exactly. But if that dog has potential, and that happens a lot. One of my 4-H'ers, she failed the first time, and that dog has all kinds of potential. And you don't have to be 18 or she's 14.
Okay.
But they can go with a parent or guardian to visit. And so I told her, you know, go home, practice this. She did, and this last test that we did, she passed.
Okay, good.
So yes,
So it's not like one and done.
No.
Go home and work on these skills, then come back and see us in a month or two or whatever.
Yeah.
And,
exactly.
Right.
very good.
So you had how many due at the last time?
6.
And they all passed. See
Now,
Now, when Mike Cooper did it, we had 7 dogs, and 5 of them failed the food test.
Yeah.
So
it was just like one after the other. They were all falling one after the other.
There you go. There's the website there.
Right.
Thank you, Jeremiah,
Yes.
for putting that up there. Look at him. He's pushing all the right buttons. You're doing it, buddy. You're doing it.
and there are all kinds of pictures. Every day they upload and you get to see therapy dogs doing what they do at home, or maybe dressed up for a certain holiday. They change the pictures on their
Love
life.
that.
It's very, very fun to follow that webpage. Jazz is probably on there somewhere, I'm sure.
I haven't downloaded a picture yet. I upload.
There's
I haven't
also another division. It's called Disaster Stress Relief Dog.
Okay.
And that's a whole nother test. And Jazz is a disaster stress relief dog. It's all day. He is a good boy. I'm just fortunate that he ended up in my life. It wasn't me. I mean, I taught him his basic stuff, but it's him.
He's just
a therapy dog.
I think it's a combination of all of that.
But so this is a test. We went to Georgia to do it, but we have since then. I've in Western Fire we sponsored a test, and but anyway, I went to Georgia, and he all day long test. They do all kinds of stuff, and he passed his test, and he was just 2 then. He's 9 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so we've been a lot of places.
You've been to Florida?
Yeah, probably some of the roughest ones. We went to Panama City Beach for Hurricane Michael.
Okay.
And when we got there was no electric, no water, nothing. We were with the Salvation Army, and there were 5 of us with dogs. And we had a motorhome, so there was 3 guys and me and another girl, so we got the motorhome. So the guys slept out on the parking lot in tents. But so we would go with the Salvation Army to wherever they went to.
Wow.
Because a lot of times people that are just devastated, and they won't open up to talk to a person. They will after the dog just brings it out of them. They might break and actually cry when they haven't cried, or the dog brings that out.
I had a guest on here one day. We were talking about that, and they said that you can. I think it was the Wellston Police that said, kids, if they've been traumatized or abused or whatever, you can. A lot of times, hospitals will use the dogs, and they'll tell the dog their story. Mm-hmm. They'll tell the dog their story.
Sure,
they won't tell an adult.
That's right. Yeah.
Their story.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
That is
right.
So cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of along the same lines of the library reading thing. Sometimes kids are too intimidated to read out loud in class.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But they'll read to Jazz or they'll read to Ellie because they're not judging.
Yeah, they're not.
They don't know if they read the right word or not, or they pronounced it right. Or,
that's true.
Yeah, so that's kind of along the same lines. But Debbie, Jazz have done some tremendous work doing the relief.
That's so good. Thank you. Thank you guys.
It's kind of showed me what I can do. We ate the same food every day for probably 5 days. We ate the Salvation Army food because there are no restaurants. The FEMA would come and fill the vehicles up with gas. I mean, it was a disaster area.
They do this on their own dime.
Oh, wow.
They just go down there and pay their own way. There's no compensation. They just
we're
do
volunteers.
They're
Yes,
volunteers.
Yeah. But what good you're doing.
I know. It's
So,
amazing.
But I learned that I could 5 days without a shower. and
I'm out.
that was bad. But we took wipes and things like that
Yeah,
we
sure.
knew it was gonna. But on day 5, portable showers came in, and
You're like, wait a minute here.
Yeah, and so the guys told the girls, you two can go first, and we were like, I have to tell a story on myself, but so we were all so excited and
The small things.
yeah, so we were going out of the motorhome, and I missed the step in the motorhome and fell, and I broke my arm.
Oh, no.
Yep, it wasn't like at first I thought, okay, I'm okay, and then we had to. And then I knew it wasn't.
Oh.
And so then we had to find a place and all that
To get an arm.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find a place to get an X-ray?
Yeah.
Well, we went to a place that was there where we were stationed at, and it was just an urgent care. They didn't have anything, but they took me. They were very nice, and they said, we'll take you. And now here's part of the test is that the dog has to be able to be left with someone else
And not go crazy.
Yeah. So
That makes sense because listen, we all know that our dogs get attached to mom and dad and whatever.
So he stayed with the people, and these people took me, and I'd broken my arm. So, but I thought I'm staying. So I stayed. And they were all so good to me. They one of the guys that was with us was. He had been in the Army, and he ran every morning and stuff. He'd take Jazz for a jog with his dog. And,
oh, good.
And so I was fine. But
So were they all Therapy Dog International people?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 5 were. And but then we gave the ER that I ended up going to a therapy dog visit.
That's so good.
Yeah, I told him, would you like a therapy dog visit tomorrow? And so we took all the dogs there.
See, you paid it forward or
so,
back, one or the other.
And let's see, we went to, Jazz and I been to Hurricane Florence in North Carolina. It was just another lady and I, and she lives in South Carolina, and we are still friends. And her last name is Willis, and we never
that's so
knew
funny.
each other. And so we're still friends. Hurricane Florence is a little different. We got to stay in a motel. And we would go to where people were signed up to get their help, and it was a building full of people, and you can imagine the stress in there.
Oh yeah,
and the noise.
Lines
just the anxiety, the room filled with anxiety.
Yeah, all the different places that would give help were there, and so we kept them calm. The dogs.
So you just walked through, and people could pet the dogs.
Through.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and we've been to Dayton when they had the tornado, and just different things like that.
So I don't know how that works. Do you reach out to them, or does TDI reach out to you and say, "Hey, can you go to this?"
Sometimes somebody will contact TDI and say, "That's what the Salvation Army did," and said, "Can you send us?"
Oh, okay.
Dogs? Yeah.
So because I wasn't sure how you.
Yeah, we can't just go. We don't just.
You have to be invited.
Like surprise!
Mm-hmm.
We
you
need to pet my dog.
No, we don't do that. We have to be invited. Yeah.
Very good, but that's so wonderful that you're able to do that. Yeah. So, okay, back to the therapy dog versus the service dog versus the
emotional support
animal.
Yeah.
Okay, how do we get from, is emotional support animal, like I dub it my emotional support animal?
Pretty much.
Is that it?
The only rights that an emotional support animal has, and they don't have to be trained, there's no training, but they can live in pet
housing that doesn't allow animals.
Yeah.
Is that do they get like a thing from their doctor?
Yeah,
you have to have a thing from their doctor. Like if you're in an apartment and your apartment building doesn't allow pets, you can get your dog designated as an emotional support animal through your doctor, and therefore their landlord has to let you have it.
And that's it. That's what an emotional support.
Okay, so doctor's note is where.
Yes.
But they will have something.
Supposed
to.
But like you said, you can go online and buy a service dog vest.
Right. And Amazon, like, $14.99 or whatever.
Yes. And That's so wrong.
It's well, the fact that you can even do that is wrong. Like whoever's selling those should be whatever.
If you notice, Jazz and Ellie have bandanas on.
Yes.
Okay, well, that they're not confused with a service dog that way. And also, it doesn't take up petting space.
For their body.
Who wants to pet a vest?
Yeah, that's true too.
Well,
right.
That's another clear distinction between a service dog and a therapy dog. Service dogs, you're not supposed to touch.
Right.
Correct. Right. They're working.
Therapy dogs, that's what they're there for.
So. Completely the opposite.
Yes, completely
like
the
hug
opposite.
them, love
yes,
them,
yes, yes.
Okay, so therapy dogs. What kind of documentation would a certified therapy dog have? So we have
IDs.
Yeah.
Oh look, there are pictures on it.
There are pictures. Not our picture.
I was going to say their picture. I thought it was you guys.
No, it's them.
No, it's the dogs. Yeah.
So this is our documentation. We've been certified through TDI, and we have a therapy dog.
And then the dog has the bandana, and it has the TDI patch on it.
Yep.
And they have a little thing on their collar that says I'm a therapy dog.
And Debbie's also wearing we have a logo. I didn't wear my shirt today, but I have a shirt too that I would wear. It says Therapy Dogs International.
So it's, it's not just because you say so kind of thing.
No.
It's an official deal.
And when we go to whichever facility we go to, they want our dogs' shot records.
Yes.
That type of stuff. Yeah.
Which we've already supplied to TDI. I mean, we have, they're completely vetted. They have all their shots, and TDI, you can't get this until you supply the medical information.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So they've had all of their vaccines, the stuff that they need. Yeah. Because, like humans, dogs can pass things amongst themselves as well.
And also pick up stuff.
Yes.
So,
and I think, is it this weekend we're having a rabies clinic here in our area?
Is.
Just a plug for that too.
Yeah, it is Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday. So I think there's one in Jackson, Oak Hill, and at the fairgrounds.
I think so. And also to plug again, Debbie's obedience class is call Rio, the Jackson branch, and get registered for
They're
that.
the ones that I...
Convenient for us.
That's where I have it.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's a good...
They're very supportive. And Jazz is kind of the Rio dog.
Yeah.
he goes with me there a lot, and all the kids go there to school know Jazz. So,
isn't that funny?
He goes in they've even used him for different speeches, and one girl used him for her speech.
Oh really?
Yeah,
so that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So good. So all right. So when is your obedience class? Since we're plugging
Starts
it,
May 18th.
May 18th, and how is it? Days or is it
once a week for 6 weeks?
So
once a week.
Wednesdays, Thursdays.
It's Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
Okay. Is it evenings, days? Okay. Yeah. And puppies, older dogs, like anybody welcome, or how does that work?
Well, they preferably would be 6 months old. At least.
Okay,
and then it doesn't matter how old they are after 6 months.
Listen, because they're kids, and you have to let kids be kids until they're about 6 months old.
And also because of their vaccinations, they can't be around other dogs until they're completed their vaccinations. So now, last time I took Cooper estimated age, because we got him from a shelter, he was 7 when he went through basic obedience. So and I thought, oh my gosh, there's going to be all these little puppies, and he's going to look ridiculous because he's super tall. And they were all giant dogs. Yeah, they were all big dogs.
Seems like a lot of people have big dogs nowadays.
Yeah,
but that doesn't matter either.
No.
A little dog can learn. And for a therapy dog, we don't have any little dogs, and we don't have any on the person's lap.
Yeah,
these guys are,
and we don't have anybody that small.
It's because little dogs are obnoxious.
Do you have a little dog prejudice like I do?
Maybe a little bit.
Just a small.
That was funny that you said that, because right before I came here, the Today Show was doing this big thing about dog obedience and dogs, and they were talking about the same thing, that little dogs, they're what did she call it? Dogism or breedism or something like that.
Breedism.
Yeah, because they were talking about, do different breeds, are they is it how they're raised? Is it nature versus nurture? Is it whatever?
Yeah.
And the girl they were talking to was saying, well, listen, it's all of that.
It is.
Yes.
Exactly. Because
same as kids, this little dog,
nobody, they don't want to make a mind.
No.
so little.
Because they're
you know,
cute
can-
and
Yes.
they can do whatever they want.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The things that little dogs get away with, a big dog would never.
Oh, it's so cute when it jumps up and bites
It's
my
so
heel.
cute when it nips on my fingers.
Exactly.
Yeah, big dog do
So-
that, he'd be.
But little dogs can learn, and they can be therapy dogs. And if somebody has a little dog that is friendly, and we need, it would be really nice to have some.
I find that
That-
small
I love
dogs
that,
are
though.
kind of, they just, I don't know if it's because of their size, they are kind of defensive. And if you approach them, they get kind
I
of
think, and
mouthy.
that depends on the dog too, because I've seen some friendly ones.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And certain breeds do well. And I do some obedience trialing with my dogs. Like we'll go to obedience shows, and there's every once in a while Papillons. They're really good.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the facility that she's from, Four Paws, they have a huge Papillon service dog program there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are a lot. The epileptic seizure dogs and the diabetes dogs are mostly Papillons.
Really?
Yeah.
The Skipper Keys, they're good. A lot of those I see little dogs at the. I've seen Dachshunds at the obedience
I
trials.
could see that.
Yeah. So
And dachshunds live for 100,000 years, so
So,
if you've got, if you get,
Better plan ahead.
yeah, like
that millennia.
gonna outlive
that,
you.
That millennia is going to come up and get you.
that's so funny.
So yeah, a little dog can do it, and it would be nice to have some
That would
dogs
be.
where they can sit on the person's lap.
Yeah, it would be.
Our big dogs does not take it on your
Mm.
lap.
I mean, they would. They're total lap dogs,
Yeah.
but
Oh, they think they are.
they think.
Yeah.
But, for an elderly lady, that's not a great idea.
I mean, I'm looking at Ellie is probably about the same size as Marley, so I don't know.
She's around
like,
60.
Okay, so she's smaller. Marley's I think 80, 85.
He's 80.
So
about
he looks way bigger than that.
It's hair.
It's the
He has
hair.
a lot of hair.
There's a lot of dog there.
Yeah.
He's like the size of a
Oh,
human.
you should see Regent.
Yeah, he's
He's a
99 pounds.
big
But he's
boy.
the German Shepherd.
He's a big boy. If he barks, you know it.
So cute. Well, I love this. This is so much fun. And so let's talk for a minute about therapy dogs. And, you talked about disaster relief. You talked about some of that. But what are some of the things that people might not think about that you could use a therapy dog for, that they could call you? And can people just call you and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I got something going on and,
For sure.
and we need your
Okay.
dogs?
Well, yes. Now, like they'll call from the school or the
God forbid
nursing
an
homes.
accident happen or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
Did you go? You went to Wellston for
Yes, I went
They
there
had
some-
something happen. I think
Yeah.
maybe a student had passed away,
Yeah,
and
we've
they-
done that several
they
times.
called up and they took a couple therapy
Yeah,
dogs up
yeah.
there.
We just went to down to Beaver not too long ago, car wreck.
Okay.
Yeah. And I took Jazz to the class where the little.
I think
boys-
Sharon Lealia is going to the funeral home,
Oh.
taking Louie to a funeral home.
Oh.
Yeah, we've been to a funeral home. Our hospice patients. I followed one hospice patient from her house to the hospital to a nursing home, and then we went to her funeral.
So that's comfort for the family,
Yeah.
obviously. And
Yeah.
I believe, didn't Shelley and Jason
Thorne and
Brown
Jazz?
have a dog in there?
I think so. I think
They have
did.
they have a newfie up there, I
Yeah, I
think.
think they
Okay,
do too.
yeah, that would
Yeah,
make sense.
Yeah, so I don't know that she's ever gone through
I don't know.
training, but she's technically their therapy dog
Yeah.
at the funeral home. So
I mean, it's
That's
a good
kind of-
idea.
that's
It
a
really
place
is.
that I
Yeah.
wouldn't think of a dog, but it's a great place for one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let me think where else. Trying to think of some of the different things. The nursing homes, the schools, the hospitals.
We've never gone to the jail, but I bet that would be a great place if we
That
could,
would be.
if we could get access, because
yeah,
those
maybe.
people are
Yeah.
tense.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on.
I'm sure some of them probably do miss their dogs.
Yeah.
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 We probably should. Anyway, we're open to visiting. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
and-
we
yeah,
just need to be
definitely.
invited. We
Yeah.
can't just show
Yeah.
up.
You
and-
can't just be like, here,
Yeah,
pet
here
my
I
dog.
am. Yeah.
No.
So how do they get hold of you guys?
You think
Facebook would be the best place.
that's a good place.
Okay, how
Yeah,
do-
but I'm
where
on
do they
Facebook.
go?
Debbie Willis, she has her own Facebook page.
Yeah,
Okay.
she could-
So it's
anybody
her
message
personal.
me,
It's her
yeah.
personal.
Oh,
page.
just on your
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Yeah, we don't have
I
a TDI Facebook page.
No,
We don't.
We don't.
We don't.
But they can put a request into TDI also.
Okay.
Yeah, if they for some reason can't get a hold of us, but
Yeah.
we're not too hard to get a hold
No,
of.
people know me.
Yeah.
People know Debbie.
Sure.
So
You can find one of these girls out and
Yeah.
about.
yeah.
No, I always, when we were at the other building, I feel like you walked your dogs by the building every day.
Every day.
And I always thought that was so nice that they walked together just
Yes.
so sweetly.
Yeah,
and
Yes.
I see her
They
They
walking.
walk
shared
very.
Mom
They
and-
very. I was just telling Debbie we're going on a trip, so I finally broke down and got the harnesses for the car, so they'd be tethered with a seatbelt
yes.
and stuff. And I'm sorry, when they don't act very therapy dog when they see leashes and harnesses coming out, because
Yeah.
it kind of goes.
We're
going
gonna go
Yes,
somewhere.
exactly.
It's the funnest day ever.
It's the best day ever. So I put the harnesses on them. I sent one out to get in the car, and then I sent the other one out and got in the car, and they were sitting there perfectly. I'm like, oh, this is working. Then they switch, and then they're both going, I can't move.
I'm stuck, Mom.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're gonna have to figure it out because I'm driving. So eventually they did. But
like children.
yes,
Just like children.
Just figure it out.
Yeah,
He's
that-
touching me.
Yes,
Exactly.
he's on my side.
That reminds me of, like, after a therapy dog works, they need to get their energy back.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
They need to
the dogs.
unwind the same as we
give-
humans do.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
They give to the people, and so it's good to might go to the barn with me with the horses, and they run and play and romp, and so that's where they get. You don't see me walking too often because that's where they go.
Yeah.
They go with me out there.
Yeah.
But taking them a walk, playing with them.
Yeah.
You know.
She can last about an hour when she's being a therapy dog, and then after that she's like, she doesn't really approach people as much. You can
Yeah.
tell when she
She's
starts getting
tired.
They tell
tired.
you. Yeah, the dog
Because
will
they
tell you.
give, you're right,
Yeah.
they give
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
I mean, they just do.
Yeah, and if you know your dog, you'll know.
Yeah.
You know.
Jazz lasts longer than she does, but he's been doing it longer. So, but she, like, if she's in a classroom of kids and she'll come in and she'll lay like this and they'll love on her, and eventually she'll get up and start walking towards the door.
Yeah, like,
so I'm like,
I'm done.
okay, she's done. So we need to move on to another class.
Yeah.
But it's been a joy. I just love having her. If anything happens to her, and she's the, there's like that dog of your heart.
Oh,
That's
I
what-
know.
Yeah. She's a heart dog.
She is the dog of my heart
So
for
is
sure,
yours.
for sure. But
Yep. And
we'll keep her in
She
good
will
health
have
for as long
a
as we
good
can.
that's where we're at with Marley right now. She's having some heart issues. And
No.
I'm like, yes, that $250 a month in medicine. It's all right. I don't care. I'll pay it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's what people do nowadays, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
I mean, listen, she, I feel like she's given her heart so much that it's just like broken now. Like, it's like there's so much love out there that she's given that it's just like getting tired.
It's
So-
like you're a family member. If you're not going to deny your child medication. And
at first you're like, and
Yeah.
then you're like, you know what? If I have to sell everything in my house to get
Yeah.
her
It is
medicine,
what it
I
is.
don't
Yep.
care.
Right, yeah.
Like, I don't care.
I'll do as much as I can to keep her comfortable as long as I can.
Yep.
He had Rocky Mountain spotted fever,
Oh,
and he has flea and tick medicine on. Obviously, you don't want a therapy dog with fleas.
no,
or ticks
definitely
or-
not.
And I thought he could. They want to test him for that, and I'm like, that doesn't really. I don't think so. And so it kind of like dragged my feet. And then finally, I knew he just wasn't being himself. He was positive for it. So
That was a long recovery too.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
of
rough.
medicine, but he's back to himself again. So
Good.
so yeah.
You do what you
So,
have to do.
yeah.
It's
Yep,
the same
you
as
sure do. And you have a responsibility because
we took them on.
we
Right,
took
right.
them as part of our family.
Yes.
So I have a responsibility to do everything I can for her.
Absolutely.
And part of her life is being a therapy dog.
That's right.
And you know what? It's just gives us a good feeling.
Yep.
When people always say
It's just
thank you.
win-win.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
People will say thank you, and I'm like, I appreciate the thank you, but
Yeah.
it's just
It's
love it.
it's so rewarding. When you go in and people just light up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere with these dogs. People just don't go, there's a dog here.
I know,
And especially when it's out of context, like if you're in a hospital and they're walking down the hallway and they go, there's a dog in the hospital.
Yeah, because it's just so like
unusual.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's so unusual. But my gosh, they loved having them there.
They did. Yeah. You know how stressed the staff of hospitals are right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, especially right now.
And those nurses just got down on the floor and were
Yep.
just like loving on them and stuff. It was great.
Yep.
It was absolutely great.
Absolutely.
Great day.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It's all about that.
I didn't know we could talk about dogs for an hour.
Oh, well, I mean, hello. That's so funny. No, well, we appreciate you girls coming in.
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, absolutely. Bring them back anytime. And maybe Jazz will talk the next time.
Maybe.
Well,
He might.
let's work on that
Did
speak.
you wake up?
Yeah. She's got her eyes open.
Yeah,
Yep,
maybe I'll have
Ellie's
to
good.
bring Regent sometime so you can meet Regent.
Gosh, she's so
Yes.
beautiful. She's so beautiful.
Oh, did you wake up?
She's eyes awake.
Yeah, Jazz woke up too.
We haven't had our walk yet, so that's what we're going to do next.
Oh, there we go.
Gotta go home and get the Coops man and go for a walk.
There we go. Get your brother.
Yeah, get your big brother.
All right. Well, girls, thank you again
Thank
for
you.
coming in. If anybody has any questions, check out Laura Thorne or Debbie Willis. You can find them one way or the
We're
other.
on Facebook.
Yep.
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 If you need a therapy dog visit, let me know.
That's right.
We'd be more than glad to.
All right. Jeremiah, did you do the weather?
I did.
Okay. Can we do that real quick
Sure.
before we get out of here for the day? Because I know you all are wondering what the weekend weather forecast looks like. And today, is not too bad. It looks like partly cloudy skies with highs around 67 degrees. Saturday, Sunday, bit warmer temperatures, but that stupid rain comes back into the forecast. Hopefully it gets over with, and but highs around the mid 70s, so that's really good. And then Monday looks gorgeous with mid 70s and some sunshine, so we'll take that. All right, well, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. We thank you so much for tuning in. And we will be back here on Monday with probably an update from, I don't know, I think Pete might be on vacation. So it may be Jeremiah, it may be somebody else, it may be, you never know. But we'll have some news for you, we promise. So have a wonderful weekend. Get out and about, get some vitamin D on your face, and we'll see you right back here on Monday. Or sunscreen. Bye-bye.